What's up YouTube? It's Colin Rice. Welcome back to the channel. It's a Sunday. Got my beanie engaged here ready to launch into some editing. Often I get questions about what I do working in digital strategy or just what it's like to live in New York during a pandemic. So I thought I'd put together one video full of a bunch of different clips throughout my day and sort of narrate it so you can get a little bit of a better idea of what my life is like. Disclaimer, I can imagine that 99% of you do not care, so please do not feel bad about clicking off this video, but for those of you that stayed, let's get into it. So my day starts at about 6 o'clock to 6:20 when I wake up to go work out. I think fitness is just super important in terms of keeping your mind clear as well as making your body just stronger and better able to deal with whatever life throws at you. As someone who's training to run a marathon in the future, it's really good to build that cadence. So after my workout, I head home, take a shower, and fix my breakfast, which this day was a bowl of Incredible O cereal. This is my favorite cereal by far. If you've never had it, you should definitely check it out. And after I fixed myself a cup of coffee, it was time to get to work. So as I said before, I work in digital strategy. My current client works in the fitness space, so we're doing some cool things in that arena. A big part of my job is acting as a project or a product manager. Essentially managing what should be built to improve the end product and then breaking that down into epics and user stories and then managing the development of that work with a development team, QA resources, UI and UX designers. It's a big involved process, but I love it. So this day during lunch, I had a pretty light schedule, so I decided to drop some clothes off at my local Salvation Army. Popped in my headphones to listen to a podcast, but I actually just ended up listening to that new Drake song instead. And after donating some clothes, I figured since I was already in the neighborhood, I might as well pick up some groceries as well. So after grocery shopping, I went home and fixed myself some lunch, which in this case was me just reheating some lentil soup that I had made earlier in the week. Now, I know looking at this, it is not the most appetizing. Believe me, I understand that. I'm a little weird in that I'm not really a foodie. I see food as fuel, and I'm always trying to save some money here or there if I can. And I just think throughout the week, especially in a place like New York City, food is by far an item I spend way too much money on, and I'm trying to cut down my cost. So working in technology, especially as a project manager, I use a couple tools that I really just want to go over pretty quick, just in case you were interested. The first of these is Slack, which is essentially a messaging app to send messages back and forth between coworkers. It's definitely one of the applications I spend the most time on. Next, we've got Confluence, which is essentially where our documentation lives. So when you think about building an application or a website, you want to document certain processes, like how you release new versions of that product to the public, certain architecture or network diagrams, and general team information. Jira is also a big part of what I do. This is essentially how we track work as a team. We'll start with a feature or an outcome we want to have, break that down into user stories, and then each of those user stories is then assigned to a member of our team, and we use Jira to track that work. So Figma, I've definitely got the least amount of experience with, but this is the main tool used by our user experience and user interface team. So they'll mock up a big, beautiful design in Figma, and then I, as a project manager, will review it with the client and break that design down again into user stories or pieces of work that a developer could then work on in one of our 2-week sprints. Notion is also a personal tool I use, and this is really how I stay organized. So I keep all of my to-do lists in here, as well as notes I may take during a call. So back to work, one of the really cool things I got to do today was talk to the client's data science team. Our client is in the fitness space, and their product displays to their customers a variety of metrics like calories that they can use to track their workouts. So obviously it's super important that we're putting the right number out there and we're calculating it in the most efficient, effective way possible, while also aligning with customer expectations in relation to other popular fitness tracking devices on the market. I finished the workday with dinner, another healthy bowl of lentil soup with some Girl Scout cookies, of course, and then I suited up to give a presentation on work-life balance to an old business organization that I was a part of when I was back in school. As a young professional, I take a lot of pride in being able to now go back and give talks like this to students who were in a similar position that I was just a couple of years ago. Not really knowing all the details of working in a corporate environment, and especially now with COVID out there, what that's really like on a day-to-day basis as a working professional. I also really like to stay involved with the community there. As someone who grew up in Georgia and now lives in New York City, I'm always trying to take people with me, and if I can give any sort of advice or guidance to people navigating their own career journeys, I try to do that as often as possible. So with work done and the presentation wrapped up, I took a shower, hopped in bed, and then continued to edit some YouTube videos. So there you have it. That's a pretty typical day in the life. Obviously things change. I'm not eating lentil soup every single day, but in general, these are just some of the things I do on a day-to-day basis. Thank you so much for continuing to watch these videos on my channel. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments what the favorite part of your day is. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.